Woodpecker has officially flown off the Masked Singer stage. Wednesday's soundtrack of My Life Night episode also served as the Group A finals, which means unless the ding-dong keep it on bell is used, two people will be going home. The first to fly the coop was Woodpecker, who was unmasked to reveal Blackish star, actress, and producer Marsai Martin, ahead of her unmasking, which none of the panelists correctly guessed. Entertainment Weekly caught up with Martin to talk about her experience on the show as a longtime fan, the sweet moment when she made her masked ambassador, Jenifer Lewis, cry, and whether or not she plans to branch out into music. Your last clue package featured the women in your life, in particular your grandmother, who you said watches every episode of The Masked Singer. Did she know you were going to do the show? Marsai Martin. She didn't know anything about it probably until a week before I had to start filming because my grandma lives with us too. I am in a household of 5 people, including my sister. I didn't tell my sister at all because she's 8, and I know she would tell the whole school. So there's some people that weren't in the equation at all, but definitely with my grandma. She had to know why I was not going to be at home. Have you been able to watch this season with her and see her reaction? Actually, no, I haven't. I'm trying to be as distant from it as possible. I know she was just excited. She was in our place on the East Coast, and we filmed on the West Coast, so it was hilarious. I came back to the East Coast after filming, and she was like, "How was it? What songs did you sing?" She was so excited. I didn't tell her any of it. I was just like, well, the fact that I'm here tells you that I didn't win, but it's okay, it's fine. But it was so much fun to see her excitement for when the episodes did come out. So when she saw my first performance, Miley Cyrus, Flowers, she was so excited. I was in New York at the time working on something else, so she was texting me like, "Oh my gosh, you did so great." She was so happy. I think I found out a couple days before. Obviously, with our producers, we have to go through what our schedule would be for the week. And they actually told me, we're going to have somebody, an ambassador, that is going to be talking and giving hints about who you are. And then they asked me to guess who it was. And then they were like, "It's Jenifer Lewis." After she was finished recording her hints, they actually allowed her to come in my trailer because I guess she didn't know who she was talking about, but I think she was like, "I figured it was you." She came into the trailer and she just started crying. Shisa was so excited. We actually haven't seen each other that many times since Blackish was over, which was about 2-3 years ago. So to see her and to catch up and her telling me her experiences from her season on The Masked Singer and what to expect, all of those things were so helpful. I think that was the day of my first performance. So it was so much fun. One of your clue packages mentioned Beyoncé. Now that you've done Masked Singer, do you think you might try and put out any music? Maybe do a collab with her? Oh Lord. If I do, it's probably going to be so just out of the ordinary, just like Bloop, here's something, but I'm not going to turn into a singer. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm not going to be like, all right, now here's my debut album. But who knows? Maybe, I don't know. But you know what I love about The Masked Singer is it gives you a platform to not feel nervous or overwhelmed. Because I feel like for me, I've sung in the past, but I was always a little nervous about it because it's not what I do full time, and I am a perfectionist at heart. So I wanted to make sure it was all me and that it was just right. But I think being on The Masked Singer, it's just given me a platform to do all of those things. But just behind the mask and with people not knowing who you are and the curiosity of who is Woodpecker. So I think being able to do that in that aspect is really cool. Maybe Woodpecker will drop music. I don't know. We'll see. But I think that was the exciting part of the show, is that your identity is not shown whatsoever. So you can pretty much do and be whatever you want. Since you were such a big fan of the show going in, did actually doing it surpass your expectations, or was there anything that you were surprised by? Yeah, a bunch of different things. I think one, I didn't realize how hard it was. I'm going to be honest, it looked like it was easy only because, oh, you're in a mask. You're kind of just like your own mascot in a sense. You can kind of just do whatever. But then when you get there, it's like, no, this is a competition. You kind of change your perspective of being like, oh no, you actually want to win this if you can try. And I think going into it, I always was like, I'm just doing this for fun, having a good time. And then rehearsals came in, and then studio time came in, and then working with the crew to align with your performances and making sure it's up to par. And I think all of those things made it just a little bit more real and more like a competition, which I don't think a lot of people realize, because I think when you watch the show, it just feels like it's their first time going out on stage, just doing whatever. No, we practice 3 times before the judges come in, and without anybody seeing it, you're still hidden. so no one knows each other's identities. It was intense. It was really intense, and you want to do a great job. So I think all of those things came into play, which I think ultimately made the experience even cooler. But I loved being Woodpecker. It was so fun. And the crew was so amazing. And the producers were so warm to making sure that you felt comfortable with everything. And yeah, I wouldn't trade it for the world. This interview has been edited for length and clarity.